Everything old is new again, at least if you're planning a vintage wedding. Next Sunday, April 21st, you can find everything you need for your dream day at the Vintage Wedding Showcase. And here with a sneak peek, we have Barber from A Vintage Affair. Welcome.
Good morning.
Okay, well, we have lots to get to, and I am totally digging this whole idea. If I didn't get married in Vegas, I think I would have gone in this direction. So is it really starting to come back, or has it ever gone off trend?
You know what, it's like antiques. Antiques have never gone away. People are discovering vintage. It's a whole new generation of people. Now it's marriage age people who are usually in their 20s, late 20s. And yeah, they love vintage. Mad Men, Downton Abbey, Great Gatsby. It sort of really brought it to the forefront, and people are really aware of vintage now.
And what does vintage encompass? Because you know, when you're talking about Mad Men, Downton Abbey, these are different periods of time.
Absolutely. So what we generally deal with is 1920s to actually 80s is vintage now, but yeah, we're not so much into the 80s wedding dresses.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, so let's look at the sort of table settings that you've brought in and kind of take us through. Where would you like to start?
So this is done by Colleen Walker of Blush Vintage Rentals. She has a huge array of beautiful vintage things. The thing with this gorgeous Jane Austen actually inspired tabletop is that it's not matchy-matchy. It's very mixy-matchy. So you don't have to have, like in the old days, you would have had everything matched totally. So we've got great vintage china, milk glass, depression glass, some really great vintage elements like a camera and keys and Scrabble tiles and vintage-inspired florals. So really using a variety of things from different eras, but it totally works.
And you can rent all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
You do not have to go out and buy several
Don't go to
hundred.
the flea market every weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting project. And you know what? I love, if we can zoom in on one of these sort of Scrabble tile name things. This is a great idea. I've never seen this before.
I know, isn't it cute?
It's super
and
cute.
everyone played Scrabble.
Everyone plays Scrabble. My father's still addicted to Scrabble.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, vintage extends out to the way that the brides and grooms are dressing.
Absolutely.
Let's bring in our first model now. I am such a huge fan of this look.
It's so pretty.
So, okay, so take us through this dress.
So Shannon is wearing a 1950s dress. It's sort of a very iconic ballerina style, and it's off the shoulder in a beautiful creamy color with a tulle skirt. And it's accented with some lovely authentic vintage jewelry from the 1950s.
Beautiful.
And her headpiece is by a local Etsy girl called Boutique Juju. So she makes vintage-inspired headpieces for brides.
And the shoes that we were just looking at, by the way, from 9 West, and
so
they should be expecting me.
When you do a vintage wedding, you don't have to go vintage from head to toe, and we love a modern shoe, and a pop of color is fabulous. For brides, it's all about the shoes now. So yeah, these are from 9 West. And the gorgeous florals are from Sarah Marison Floral.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Gorgeous. I love the whole concept, the sort of mix and match on the table settings, the mix and match on the dress. You can really show your personality. Thank you very much, Shannon. We're going to bring in our next model, and this is regal. I love it.
I know, and this
beautiful.
Is what we call our Marie Antoinette dress. It's sort of been dubbed that. After she put it on, it's like, oh my gosh, you look like Marie Antoinette.
It's gorgeous, and lace is so in right now anyway, so this is just perfect.
And this is one of those dresses that on the hanger, it didn't look like anything, and when you put it on, it's great, which is a lot with vintage clothing. Once you put it on, it really makes a huge difference.
And have these dresses, are they as they were found, or are they been, you know, nipped and tucked?
We buy really good quality clothing. Sometimes we need to make repairs, and sometimes we need to make alterations. You don't want to wear that turtleneck wedding gown, or sometimes long sleeves are better sleeveless. So we do definitely alter things to make them a little more modern.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Brides and grooms to be, pay attention. The Vintage Wedding Showcase takes place next Sunday. It's April 21st at the Mount Pleasant Community Center. For more information, head to breakfasttelevision.ca. Bonnie, this stuff is absolutely beautiful.
Thanks for having us.
It makes me want to do it again with the same guy, of course, right?